Megan with Party Hive Creations, and today we'll be creating the invitation that you see on the screen. This is a nice glitter invitation that would be great for maybe a little bit more of a mature age. You could go as young as maybe a tween or a teenager, but you could use it for an adult. And the colors can be adjusted. It doesn't have to be red glitter. It can be whatever fits your particular theme. But it's very simple, and that's what I like about it. But it also incorporates a photo, so that makes it a little bit more fun. So we need to start off with File and New. And I will name this Red Glitter Party. My width is 7 inches. My height is 5 inches. I like to do 5 by 7. I feel like it's a good size. 4 by 6 is also popular and is a good option as well. The resolution needs to be 300 pixels per inch, which is already listed there. And my background here, I have it as transparent, but I'm just going to switch it to white. So I start with a white background. Okay. Now, I am going to start out by putting the photo on the invitation. So this is the photo I'm going to use. I'm going to click on her and drag. Okay, and then I'm going to do Control T, and this just allows me to resize it. So I'm going to hit the Shift key and drag the corner down until I get it the appropriate size. The Shift key will keep the proportions right, so that it doesn't get distorted. That looks about right. So I'm just going to click the check mark at the top. Okay, now we are going to put the glitter down. I have saved this red glitter that I found on Google Images. I just went to Google, typed in red glitter, made sure I was on Images, and then make sure you click on Search Tools and select large out of the size. And it'll pull up any large glitter that they have. I found one that didn't have a lot of blur to it, a lot of depth of field where part of the glitter is in focus, like this one. See how this is all blurry, but this part's in focus. I wanted one that was more flat and all in focus. So that's what I saved. So here it is. I'm going to just click on it with my Move tool and drag it into Red Glitter Party. And there it is. I think I like it right about here. As you can see, it's not big enough to fill the entire space. So what I usually do is I will duplicate this layer, and then I'll drag it. But what you'll see here is it's dark at the top and it gets lighter towards the bottom. So this is darker here and it gets lighter as it goes down. So the way that I fix that, so you don't see this line that kind of shows there's a break in the glitter, I go to Edit, Transform, and I flip vertical. And just like that, you now have glitter that matches. It's the same shade, and then it gets darker towards the bottom, and I think it looks really nice. Now I'm going to do a new layer, and I'm going to name this White 1, because we have to do 4 different stripes of white for our party information. You can do more stripes if you'd like to, if you have more information to fit. I'm just going to do 4. But that's the beauty of this invitation. You can make it fit whatever your needs are. So go over here to the left and click on this rectangular marquee tool. And just click and drag, and you can make this whatever thickness you like. I'm really just sort of eyeballing it. I'm going to have 4 of these. So I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to click on my paint bucket tool, and white is already selected. So I'm going to click. Okay, now I'm going to click on the rectangle tool again and click and drag this box so it's the same. So each stripe that I create will be the same exact size. And then I'm going to make a new layer. And I'm going to do white 2. And I will click. Now, another way of doing this, and this just to show you, I'm going to deselect that. Come over here to your layers section and click on white 1 and then hold down the command key and click on white 2 and it selects both of them. And you can right click on that and select duplicate layers. So I just hit OK. Now see, it made a white 2 copy and a white 1 copy. And if you click on your move tool, you can drag those. So actually that was probably faster than the way I was originally doing it. With Photoshop, you'll notice there are a lot of ways to do any number of things. It's just however you like to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and click white 1 and then push shift and click on this white 2 copy and it highlights all of them. And I am just going to kind of center this to make sure that this is even with the top here. And I know all these are even. So that creates our white stripes. Now, the only thing we have left to do, this is how simple this invitation is to click on our text tool and we'll go over here and we'll start putting in our information. I am going to make this a little larger. I'm going to start at 48. I do want this font. It's called Angel Face Regular. And I believe I got it on dafont.com. And I go to my move tools just so I can kind of get it centered a little bit. And that looks good. And then I'm going to put is turning 11. But I want this to be a different font. So I'm going to go over here and I want it to be this American Typewriter Condensed Light. But I need it to be quite a bit smaller. So I'm going to choose 18. And I'm going to go back to my move tool and I'm going to use that to kind of help me. That looks about where I want it. Okay, Scarlett is turning 11 and now I want to do the date. I'm already on American Typewriter Condensed, but if I click on my text tool and I click on Scarlett and then I click off of it to another tool, and then select my text tool again, it has me back on the font that I used for Scarlett. So without me having to change it myself. So this I'm going to do September 30th. And this feels a little big to me, so I'm just going to change the size down a little to 36. Okay. And I will put the time in, but I'm going to put it the same font as this is turning 11. So I'm just going to move on down here to what I'm using this font for on the invitation. So I'm going to put in the address. Okay, and I'm going to select my move tool again and just make sure it's centered. And then lastly, down here, RSVP. And I actually think that I want these just a tad smaller. 32. I'm going to do the same to this one right here. Instead of it being 36, I'm going to move it down to 32. Okay. Just make sure RSVP and the address are where I want them. Okay, looks good. All right, now I'm going to click on is turning 11 to get that font selected again. And I'm going to put the time in here. I want 7 to 10 p.m. And I'll select my move tool and get it where I want it. And then put the city in Centerville. Make sure this is centered as well. Okay. Okay. Center that also. Okay, now I just need to look at this and make sure I like how it is sitting on the white stripes. There's a few things I want to adjust. Is turning 11, I want to, it's not letting me adjust as much as I want. Sometimes when you go to drag a font around, it kind of jumps. It doesn't, there's no in between. See, it's jumping really close to Scarlet and I don't want it that close. So if you do Command and the plus sign, it zooms you in. And often you'll have a little bit more control. See, I have a little bit more precise control. And I like that, but I want to move the whole thing down. See how Scarlet is very close to the edge and this has a big gap? So I'm going to click on, over here my layers, is turning 11 and hit Command and click on Scarlet and then just adjust it a little bit. And I like that better. I'm going to do the same thing with September 30th while I'm zoomed in here, and the time. Just going to move it down just a little bit. Okay, and then the address and the city. And RSVP. Okay, I feel like To Melanie needs to be moved up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to zoom out, which you do Command and the minus sign. Okay, and here we have our finished invitation. You can customize this to fit your needs. If you didn't want to use glitter, you could use a solid color or a pattern behind there instead that you found on Google Images. And you could just change it up however you'd like, use different fonts, and really just make it your own. That's what I love about a simple invitation. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And let me know what else you'd like to see. And thanks for watching. This is Megan with Party Hive Creations.